There.
Need a bath. Oh, I'm loving it. Just class that as. Just recap it the next morning. So on another video.
So we're in the conservatory, and you may not remember, but this has a concrete floor, then ceramic tiles, and then I lifted the floor up with some timbers and put chipboard, moist resistant chipboard. It's actually moisture resistant. So it comes time for me to put this finish on it. This is plywood, and this will be obviously before whatever we put down, lino or a timber flooring, whatever. But this needs this on it. Just finish the floor prior to the final finish. Not much to see. You can see here, it was a year ago I did this, and near the door the screws are just starting to rust. Not bad though. So I think what I'll do, I'll tighten this corner as it is. That's good. And I'll leave a strip here so I can cut a strip to go in there. Right, that's board number one. I've only got 3, so I don't think I'm going to have enough. We'll see. So this side, a little bit more involved. Socket on the wall, which I've had to loosen and pull up because there wouldn't be enough space for this sheet to go under it. And then I've got the radiator pipes. Got a bit of a mess there, but partly why I'm doing it, I put this floor down quite nice, but then wanted the radiator lifting, so I had to cut a section out, and it just made a mess really. So hopefully this will tidy it up what I'm doing.
Hello, thought I'd butt in on Mike's video. I've just come down to put kettle on, and it's looking very tidy. It's looking very smart.
Yeah, it wants, there's a bit of filler here and there. Like that is a full sheet from that wall to this wall. And as you can see, it's 1/2 inch short. But not a lot I can do with that.
Look at this sunshine.
Nice, isn't it? I suppose
Yeah.
not too hot, but...
What do you think? Well, we've had a nice walk, haven't we? Yeah. Could have stayed out, couldn't we? Eh? Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. We've been thinking about whether we're having lino or wooded floor. The little click. Look
I don't
clicky
know.
ones.
Yeah, click.
Yeah, that's stuff.
Is it laminate?
No, not quite. Not a little bit better than laminate.
I don't want this.
So we're just thinking about chairs being dragged out and scraping on lino.
You could get some rubber bottoms for these chairs, you know.
Yeah.
But what they will do as you move them is leave a black mark.
We don't know, do we? With Willow, she does tend to slide across those type of woodeny floors. She struggles on them. She goes ice skating, don't you, Willow? Yeah. So I'm not sure. I think she'd be better on lino.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I would put lino down because this area here, this gets all the traffic in the spring and summer. me sat here, you know, if we put lino down, this piece here would be less than £200. So if in 2 or 3 years we go, ooh, take it up, throw it. It's in there where I think you want something nice in your kitchen.
Well, I thought we'd just have the same all the way through.
We'll do that.
Because it's got to be hard wearing in the kitchen as well.
Yep. Well, we're ready nearly. I've got this fill here. Just shows you these boards are cut dead square in the factory. But if you look here, look how this gap runs out.
Oh, yeah.
See that? Now that is the building, probably this little conservatory. So the builders haven't quite built it square. We expect that. Yes.
Right,
Anyway,
I suppose I better get back to work.
I will have a cup of tea if you're offering.
Yeah, that's what I came for. I'd have a cup of tea. Do you want a cup of tea, Willow? You need to learn how to make a cup of tea. About time you made yourself useful around here.
She was helping earlier by bouncing a ball up and down on here.
Was ya?
While I was cutting with my saw, wasn't you?
Was you testing the floor with your balls? Was ya? Oh, you are a good girl. Oh, you're such a good girl, Willow Bobs. Okay, let's get the kettle on.
Yeah, I was. So this is of my own making, this issue here. As you can see, the floor ends and the door begins. Now what I said was, well, we'll leave that, it's about a 2-inch gap, and we can get it and clean it. I'm not 100% convinced, so I'm going to try a little fix, if it works. Using these, I bought them ages ago, and just as a bit of stock, but gosh, they're good screws. Anyway, that's what I'm using. As you can see, I end up throwing them all over the floor. Okay, and you need two. I've got a magnet somewhere. I can't find it. Right, that's that little job done. Moving on. When we moved into the house, found this. And it was near this door, and I was wondering what on earth it's for. So, it's a security device. The last owner... Oh. Would fit it in there like that. And of course it stops the main shutter door from opening. We've never used it, but I don't know, I've always just kept it on hand. Yeah, anyway, there you go. Cheap security. It can live there. To fit the socket back, as you can see, this back plate for the socket, show you. The bottom of it's been taken out. That's because this was originally almost sat on the floor. Anyway, I haven't got my electrician today, so I'm going to fit it as it is, and then I'll tape the bottom of that for now, and then make this good with a little bit of MDF. I'll maybe show you that. The first thing is I've got to mark the holes where I'm going to drill, which I've done here and here. Put some rope plugs in and fit this back in. Okay, I'll get my hammer drill. Oh, and maybe should have said, this is dead. The power is not switched on. Just so in case you was wondering. Bit of noise. I want to turn the volume down. If I can remember. Right, couple of these red plugs. There. So I got those put in. I didn't show you, but just as a thought, when you put the front plate on and you're putting the screws back, if you ever do this, remember to put them in equally. Don't put one all the way back in and then try and get the other one in. You might be wondering what this tape is for here. Well, I often drop screws, loose screws, and behind there is a gap. So I put this there so that I didn't lose the screw. Anyway, so I'm just going to put a bit of this tape under here, just temporary, till I get the electrician. So he'd and that's because, you know, this box is open under there. Nobody's gonna come along, oh, that's not sticky. Nobody's gonna come along and stick their fingers under there. Well, maybe the floor fitters. But, you know, if you're mopping when we get the canvas down wet, you know, don't you? Yeah. See what I can do without sticking my own fingers in the box. There we are. Not pretty, but could save a bit of an accident. We have got these, I don't know whether they're RCDs or whatever they are, switch the power off instantly, but, you know, you never know. Right, that's that job done. On to the next one. In an effort to tidy these windowsills, and gosh, they're always a mess, I've put the TV on the wall. Here is the base. There are the screws. Bit of tape. Tape the screws to the base. Stow the base. Just in case. Then you won't lose your screws. TV. Who is it? Sky. Don't want that on. Right, I've got a bit of tape on the floor as well. And also around the bottom of that pipe, just to stop any of the major beasties. So I've set up in that corner now. That's a huge hard drive. Can't remember how many terabytes it is or whatever they're called. Anyway, big. Purely for YouTube. Yeah. Getting there. There you go. That's the floor. Tidied. I've tidied up a bit. Got the telly in place. Tidied those up. This is the adhesive I used. Spray adhesive for this, which is hardwood ply. So I've got as many screws in as I want, really. Don't want too many. It is glued. I used that spray adhesive and some liquid nails along the edges. So I like skating. Up at 10 in the morning, I'm not doing bad on a Thursday. I can't move the skating at the minute. I've nowhere to put it. But I think, or I hope you'll agree, this room looks a bit better. So it's for Cheryl now. She wants to finish painting the skating in here. Those labels have got to come off. And probably put a better paint on these windowsills. You know. But that will be, it's where we live in here while we're renovating the rest of the house. So yeah, that's done. Got a few gaps around the edges. They'll fill. I'll do them after Cheryl's painted. Yeah, jobs are good. Un. Right, on to the next one. About to start putting a skirting and architrave as required in this hallway, but, and it is a big but, I've got to sort this out. It's a mess. Stands behind that cabinet. You know, the drawer, no, not drawer unit, shelving that I made. Anyway, I need to paint, and that's a Cheryl job. So I've got to figure out how I want to do this. I'll give it some thought. I'll be back in a second. Right, got that out. So it's a simple task now. Measure that for skirting, fit the skirting. Now, there is a gap between the floor and the subfloor. And if I put my skirting on there, it'll fall in. So I'll show you how I'm going to get around that. Okay. Okay, right, got all my bits and bobs ready. So this is running slightly out. It's a little lower at that end than this. I'll just double check that. It really is a little bit as well, but might as well do it right. So a couple of these spacers or shims. These slightly thicker than the white one. Like that. Might be a bit much. It is. That still looks a bit much if I'm honest. Yeah. What I'm going to do is swap that for that. There we go. That's better. Leave that one out. There's not enough in it to worry. So, I marked the wall here and here because behind here it's a solid plaster. So what I'll do is drill into there, see? And same there. Now, that should have left 2 little screw holes, one there and one there. Excellent. And now I know where to drill with my masonry bit. Okay. Put my row plugs in. Has anybody else noticed that the actual plug itself takes a fair bit of getting off its pack? Or is it just me? Anyway. That's that. Next thing is I want to countersink those. So back to this drill. Countersink on. Take it off hammer. Countersink. that's nice and sharp. The others are quite blunt. Take that off. Move that. Now these screws I've got far too long, if I'm honest. But it's what I could find. So I'll just turn them in by hand until they get through to the other side. Same again. Now, line them up with my roll plugs with a bit of luck. That one's definitely bit. Look at that. That is fixed. So it don't take long. You just got to get your tools together. That takes the longest time. Right, I've this to fill. I know it looks bad. That's too big a gap. But you know that nail that I said was in there? I do not want to move it, and it's huge. It's an old clout nail. I don't want to move it because it's holding this, and I don't want to disturb that. I also didn't cut down here like that. I could have chamfered it, but you never know, at some point I might think, yeah, get this lot moved, and then I can put a piece of skirting in there. So, usual magic trick, also known as liquid nails, and I will fill this with wood filler, but first off just throw some liquid nails in. It's quite a cheap filler. It's not going to hold anything, you know. That'll do. Maybe a little bit more there. That'll do. I don't want to put too much in, so I want to leave some room for the proper wood filler. Right, that is that part of that done. But I now want to put the shelving unit back, but not before I tidy all this lot up. Oh, yeah. Right, let's give that a go. Need a bit of filler. That's back in place. Of course, it looks tidy without all the shoes and books on. I don't think I'm going to put the books back on. Now, the cables at the back are actually a bit tidier, but a lot safer. Right, on to the next bit of skirting, which will be this running along there. Simple process, rinse and repeat. Same there. And then I've got some quite difficult architrave to do here. We'll have a look at that. So I'm just putting these skirtings on. That's gone on good. This one, despite there being some good upright timbers in here. These first two screws not really taking, so I've just put a bit of liquid nails down the back of it and I'll fasten that back. I'm going to have a go at the architrave round this door. I've already put a point, like you say, a mark on this piece of architrave. Now I do have this, look, which is a little tool for measuring, or at least marking out the angles of things. I've built it for when we come to do the panelling up the stairs. Anyway, let's have a look. Right, I'm on with this architrave. Got that piece in, and I've got my clamps on here because nothing is as it should be. That piece there is way out of level, but when you look at it, it isn't, and it's following the old paint line, so there's something wrong there. Got a bit of filling to do there, so I'm going to go with it as it is. I'm just going to make a mark and cut through using that multi-tool thing. It's a saw, basically. Takes a bit of doing, but I'm going to cut through a joint there and see if they match. We'll see. I did check this. The skirting I've cut, well, it's a full length, I didn't have to cut it, but behind there is a piece of wood left in by the builder who did this wall for us. I'm going to have to cut this, which means getting the multi-tool out to do it. Then I'm going to have a bit of filling to do, but I'm getting used to that. I need to show you this. So I've got the bottom skirting on, and I fitted the skirting to the wall, and you might think, hurrah, remember the trouble I had. But you'll see I've got a massive gap. Now I've loosened the screws all the way along because when I fastened it to the wall, and you can maybe see it over there, but it went into a banana shape, and I can't have that. So I'm actually going to leave that where it is, fill it full of liquid nails for now, and what I'll have to do is to board that piece of the wall, take the bow out of it by putting a board in. Now it's not so bad. This wall is going to have panelling, so I can use a board, and it won't look out of place. You can see I've been searching for a stud there, but because there used to be a doorway there, and we had the builder, our builder as it were, he's not been here for about 8-9 months, but we had the builder board up that doorway that was there and put this doorway in here. Nice job. Joiner came along, fitted the frame and architrave, excellent. But over there, the plastering could have been better, put it that way. I've no doubt in the past I've done this sort of thing as well, you know, not done the plastering as it maybe should be. But I can overcome it, and I'd sooner do it now. What I don't want to do is just fill that gap and call it that. It's not going to look good. Mind you, I'm going to say there might be a bead go on there. Depends what sort of panelling we'll have. Anyway, for now, I'm going to fix it where it is and then sort it when I can. No, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to take this skirting off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this wall for panelling. Now this radiator's in the way, but just looking, it's only got 2 brackets on it. I think I can get around that, so I'm going to plasterboard up to where the height of the panelling will be, and then I'm going to put the skirting board back on. That way everything will be flat, square, as it should be, you know. All right. Oh, yes, good idea. So, I put these at 14-inch panels. What I'm about to do is to fix this to the wall with some liquid nails and a few screws, but I don't want to put the screws where you'll see them. In other words, because there's a strip going on there in this, I want to put the screws behind the strips.
Right.
But measuring from that end, 14-inch panels, I've got a strip there and then a strip there, which don't look very good, does it?
No.
So I want to, I mean, I could find the middle and then work out equally, but I don't think there's any need for such stuff. What I've got to lose is that much there, which should be 3/6, so 6-inch.
Why do you need a strip there?
Well, it's the end of the panel.
Why can't it just...
Well, it can't. It goes to because you wouldn't have a panel. Well, your panel would be that big. It wouldn't look right. So, packages arrived. Look at that. Can you guess what it is yet? It's nothing too exciting, I'm afraid. It arrived while we was away, but it only been left outside maybe an hour. It's fine. I'll open it. And there you are. It's just the pre-cut MDF panelling boards for the hallway stairs and landing. Gosh, they are thin. Well, I wanted them delicate, so let's have a look. So I've just put some drill holes in it, ready to accept nails, and then a thin layer of liquid nails. Yeah, we'll have a go. First piece on, nice and level. Now it is subtle, this. I think it's 9mm, but the reason I've built it so thin is because of the rest of the architrave and skirting. I wanted to use the skirting and not have the panel board stuck too far off it, but I think it's actually spot on. I'll put the next piece on and we'll see. So far, so good. That is nice and level, just by the way. Yeah, the nails, yes, I know they're stuck out. The reason is this wall, the plastering, is a little bit wavy. So I put the plyboard on, that took some of it out, well, most of it. And this top rail that I'm putting in, the paneling, I've almost let it sort of slide into its own level, if you like, its own flushness. So you can see there, where I've not put any glue in, slightly off the board, and there. And that's true most of the way along. So, although this will have a cap on it, it has gone on flush. If you see what I mean, you'll see more when I put the cap on, which we haven't bought yet. Right, I'll carry on. Well, all the panel strips are on. Can you spot the not deliberate mistake? A bit annoyed at myself because I really took my time cutting these, but when we measured, me and Cheryl, we didn't take note of that socket, so I've had to cut a little corner out of it. Of course, at the minute it's standing out because I keep looking at it. Anyway, that's one wall done. Take the nails out tomorrow, fill the holes, and that'll be ready for the decorators. Hurrah! It's quite nice actually. Yeah. Just there.
So on another video,